Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, August 16th, 2019. Welcome to another eBay video. Today we're going to be discussing a little bit more about the USPS scanning our items as delivered, even though they have not yet been delivered. I was very shocked to see how many of you guys have actually been affected by this. It really blew my mind. We're also going to talk a little bit more about hoarders and about the incident that I've experienced. And we're going to talk more about other eBay comments, questions, and concerns you have. So let's get right into it. The first comment I'm going to read is not one of yours, but it's something I saw on Facebook the other night that I'd like to share with you. It has to do with eBay sellers lying about their locations. I purchased an item on eBay. Listing says buyer is in California and guaranteed delivery is August 12th. Item did not arrive yesterday or today. I sent a message to the seller asking for the tracking number. No response. However, I got a message saying it had been shipped. Still no tracking number. Now the listing says expected delivery by August 17th. Further investigation shows the seller is not in California but in Vietnam. Do I have any recourse at all? Should this be reported? What does eBay do about this crap? I do have screenshots of everything. I did receive a $5 voucher, but at this point I'm really annoyed and don't want the item at all. Any suggestions? I hate when sellers lie about their location and say they're shipping from California or Florida and they're actually shipping from out of the country. If I was this particular buyer, I would definitely call eBay and dime them out. Dime them out to the fullest. Will eBay do anything about this? Anytime I buy an item on eBay, I'm always very careful to only buy items from sellers in the United States. Recently I needed to buy some components for something I was working on, and I was looking at the prices, comparing them, and one seller was less than half the price of all the others. I clicked on his listing and he's located in Turkey. I said, no freaking way. I spent my money right here in the United States. I spent more, but I'm assured of getting the item in a timely manner, which I did. A lot of people wrote in about the USPS scanning their items delivered before they're actually delivered. Futures Past wrote, last week my mailman was on vacation and the substitute mail carriers were awful. Whenever my regular mailman is off or on vacation, the crap hits the fan in my neighborhood. I signed up for something called Informed Delivery on USPS, where I get texts when my packages are delivered. I got 3 texts saying 3 eBay packages were just delivered, and when I went outside, nothing was there. Louis Grace Marduk wrote, my buyer called the postmaster the following morning and was told it would be delivered in the afternoon. Indeed, it was delivered the same afternoon. A few weeks later, there was an internet article regarding the practice. The postmasters and managers do it so they can receive their bonuses. Visual Virtue wrote, yes, yes, yes. I live in Texas and I'm beyond frustrated that I get notified that my item is delivered when in fact it is not and comes days later. Joe Blake wrote, Joe, last year over a couple-month period, so many of my packages were being scanned delivered a day or two before they arrived, so I complained to our mail lady. She claimed the managers were scanning the packages delivered in order to stop the clock to make it appear that the packages were delivered on time or even early, though they still had not been delivered. She said the managers were doing this to increase the managers' bonuses. She said the less time the package is spent in the system before being delivered, the less their bonuses. So the managers are fraudulently scanning lots of packages delivered in order to increase their bonus. It's like stealing money they're not entitled to. Our mail lady said it really pissed off all the carriers. She suggested I call USPS and file a complaint since I've had many packages scanned and delivered by the same manager that had not actually been delivered yet. I filed a complaint, but nothing happened. I've had the same problem since the filing of my complaint, although I'm not having as many now. Sheila Robin wrote, my post office has done this to me for at least 2 years, scanning items as delivered when they weren't. I've called the post office multiple times and spoke to the postmaster of this post office. She always gives the same excuse, that they don't have enough scanners for each driver to take one in their vehicle. Same excuse for at least 2 years. I've contacted the DC post office, but only get a local telephone call from my local postmaster with the same excuse. It's illegal, isn't it? They misrepresent their documents. I said that to the postmaster, and she said things get stolen at houses, so it's not as bad as that. Really? It's just not eBay items which I bought, but other retail purchases as well. I'm so tired of it, but no one listens to me. Well, I'm listening to you. Synchron wrote, USPS is run by the government. Nuff said. You know, guys, I could go on and read more of these comments, but I'm not going to. I think it is criminal in nature that the post office not only engages in this behavior, but actually is acknowledging it because they know nothing's going to be done. And I'm going to tell you right now, nothing is going to be done. If eBay or some other reputable company was to engage in this behavior, the state attorney general would probably look into the case. But because it's the post office, anything goes. I firmly believe it is near impossible for anybody to get fired from the post office. How many times have you read articles where mailmen were not delivering their mail, dumping it in the sewer or in a dumpster? Do you ever recall any of those guys getting fired? Usually they're suspended or docked vacation time. The only time anyone ever gets fired is if someone is stealing huge amounts of welfare checks or something and the media gets hold of it and runs with the story. Then, and only then, they have to act. I think it's a disgrace what they get away with. I really honestly do. It's sickening. Let's talk about false SNAD returns. Deborah Kubler wrote, thank you for answering my question, Joe. What you said is exactly correct. Just the other day, I had a buyer that clicked item not as described when returning it. eBay automatically accepted the return, so I had to pay return shipping. But when I received the item back, I called eBay and they saw the message the buyer wrote saying the chair was nice and fine, but it just didn't fit her doll. I was able to win that case, get my return shipping, and did not pay for their original shipping. Just refunded the original purchase. eBay backed me up 100% on it and closed the case. The buyer was not happy, but eBay did a great job in following through. Thank you for all you do for all of us, Joe. I'm glad that worked out for you. As I said, we had gone through a rough process where eBay customer service was not acting on SNAD complaints. I was one of the most vocal people about that. And as I said, things are changing. The new policy goes into effect October 1st, but apparently they're acting on it now. This is great news. Excellent work, Deborah. Crosswalk Larry wrote about sending offers to watches. I agree, Joe. The send an offer to watches is an epic fail. It's more than likely your competitor's watching. You know, I actually think that might be the case, because I have so many watches on some items and I've sent out those offers and nobody responds. The other day I had some time to kill, so I was checking all the items that people are watching that are eligible to be sent offers. And you know what's weird? Almost every single item was a dirt cheap item, $20, and in some cases even less. Rarely did I see any $100 or $200 items being watched. Everything was dirt cheap. How much cheaper do they want me to go? Now, I have several of you guys who wrote in about the story about the hoarder that I told you about last week. I'm going to read your comments and I'm going to give you an interesting update. Mary Deathy Deals wrote, I'm an RN. Your hubcap dude appears to suffer from hoarding disorder, a form of mental illness. Your days 1 and 2 were a fluke. Many of the diagnosed people cannot throw a scrap of newspaper away. He wasn't mad at you making money as much as he was mad and distressed at himself for letting down his walls, figuratively and mentally. Since you had earlier dealings with him, you know he's been in that groove for a long time. Good on you for getting anything at all from him. Man Mountain Link wrote, probably getting less than 0 since he's having to pay tipping fees on the dumpsters. I've run across a few of those type people. It's sad, really. Studio Green wrote, thanks for the video, Joe. My mom is a hoarder and she said to me she would burn her stuff before I could sell it. James Conroy wrote, hoarding is a sickness. Don't take it personal. Denver Flipperer wrote, I almost did a recent buyout. Most of the stuff was junk and he knew I was just going to pick what I wanted. His prices were ridiculous and he wouldn't cave in. I offered him reasonable prices that I could make some money, which of course he didn't like, and I just walked away. Our friend in common that introduced me to him told me that his landlord kicked him out for back rent and everything ended up into dumpsters and the homeless and scrappers had a field day. Almost forgot. Also, the city put a vacate notice up before the landlord kicked him out. You know, that's the kind of thing that really irritates me. The hoarder in question had a chance to make some money and sell to Denver Flipperer. Instead, nope, throws everything in the trash or everything gets wasted. It's just disgusting, man. GM wrote, Joe, I'm sorry to say you are asking for trouble with this hoarder going back every day. Taking away part of his lifetime collection of hubcaps, hoarders have an irrational sentimental value to items and find it very painful to let things go. How many trips were you planning to collect thousands of hubcaps in your car? It would have taken you weeks. The hoarder was bound to flip. If you had been smart, you would have hired a decent-sized truck, employed a couple of helpers or friends for the day to move all the hubcaps you wanted in one day. If you had been quicker collecting the hubs, the hoarder would have had his money, nice clean yard, and you would have had a collection of hubcaps to sell. Everyone would have been a winner. In theory, on paper, your little idea sounds great, but in practice it's a fail. A miserable fail, only because you don't know the hoarder like I do, and I did not tell you guys every single fact. I'm going to tell you a couple of more things now as we go along. Now you met this, wait a minute. GM stated I should have rented a truck and employed maybe some day laborers to go up there. That in itself is a super huge risk. You got to figure the cost of renting the truck and the day laborers here get, last I checked, $100 each plus meals. Now you're talking some coin here. Suppose I had done that, taken the truck up there, and he flipped out on me while I was up there. That can and has happened. See, I took that into account, but you didn't. Also, something I didn't tell you. While I was up there last week, and I was picking through the hubcaps, who shows up but some of the contractors with the backhoes and the dump trucks? They wanted to start clearing out some of the property. So they're starting to work, and I'm working in the hubcap pile, and the hoarder started to freak out. And he said, look at all these people. They're like vultures descending on my items. Seriously, vultures? I don't think so. My point is, had I gone up there with day laborers, let's say 3 or 4 of them, or even 2, and he would have seen all of us rooting around and loading that van, that would have pushed him over. I know it. I know him. You don't. I did right. Joe Blake wrote in about the hoarder. The old man you spoke of dealing with on the hubcaps was mentally ill. My brother was the same way. He had a fortune in high-end guns and huge lots of ammo. He was diabetic and needed medical care and supplies. Yet he would not sell a single gun or any ammo to pay for his doctor visits or medication. So he didn't even treat his diabetes for years. He passed away last year with a couple of $100,000 worth of guns and ammo in his shop. His girlfriend had talked him into putting her in his will, so she got everything, including his house, the shop, and property. My brother was sick in the head. I know exactly how miserable that old man is you're describing. My brother to the T. He didn't take a single gun with him when he left this world, yet he was too greedy to sell a single one while he was alive. I'm telling you, Joe Blake, I swear to God, it's like you are here and you're with me going up there, because you described him to a T. I'm still sometimes finding words to describe some of the things I've seen and witnessed with this character. It's crazy. The last comment on Hoarders was from Charles Foreman. Joe, don't get too upset by that guy. Just tell him to screw himself and walk away. Trouble is, Joe, you care so much for your customers, and that's why you haven't sold your business like him. He had to sell everything as no one wants to deal with him. The more of those people that go out of business, the better for everyone. You're such a trusted guy, Joe, and that's why people love dealing with you, and your customers will come back again and again sometime in the future, as they will always remember dealing with you. Fantastic video, Joe. Loved every bit of it. Charles in the UK. Before I give you an update on the Hoarder situation, I'm going to take a drink from the Fox News cup. Oh, life. This is the Fox News cup of life. Happy is he who drinks from it. Very, very good. Very good. So guys, before I talk about any more eBay stuff, I want to give you a Hoarder update. When I left off on last week's video, I told you that he cursed the crap out of me. I told him to go take his hubcaps and put them where the sun don't shine, and that was the end of that. But knowing him like I know him, this guy is unstable. One minute he hates your guts and wants you dead. The next minute he's your best friend. So I said to a couple of people locally who are aware of the situation, I said, I bet he calls me up next week. Not only will he call me, but he's going to act like nothing ever happened. We're the best of friends. What happened? Nailed it. He called me up. Called me on Tuesday. Called me Tuesday afternoon, and he wanted me to come up Tuesday night. I said, I can't just drop things and change my schedule to suit you. I said, I ain't coming Tuesday night. I'll come Wednesday, which I did. I also went Thursday as well. And I'm going this weekend, unless he flips on me. Now, as I said, I went up there Wednesday and Thursday, and both days he was using his nice guy persona. Nicest guy in the world. How you doing? You know? No problem. I filled my car up. I bought a lot. Even if I stop going tomorrow, I'm going to be able to sell these on eBay for a long, long time. In fact, while we're on the subject, sales have been excellent lately, because last week after the Hoarder gave me the boot and kicked me out, I decided to turn my attentions to listing. So I got some of his really hot items that I purchased from him, and I listed them. I must have listed at least 50 things. I listed all of Sunday. I listed a good chunk of Monday. And I'd be listing now if I wasn't making this video. But yeah, I listed a lot of his things, and some of them have already sold. Indeed. I know what sells, and I'm very happy with the outcome. Let's now talk about some eBay business. How do you guys feel about non-paying bidders on eBay? Whether you sell something to a person through an auction and they don't pay you, or maybe you send them a best offer and they don't pay you, or whatever. So something weird happened to me. As you know, all my items are fixed price listings. That's how I roll. I don't do any more auctions. I want payment immediately, because during the early days of eBay, I got stung so many times. Oh, it was just unbelievable how many non-paying bidders I encountered. So what happened is, a lot of people really love best offer, where you check off the best offer option and a person can make you an offer. The problem with that is immediate payment is not required. I have talked to the people at eBay. I talked to them when I was there last month out west, and there's actually a big change coming from that. I don't have a date for you, but in the future when you offer the best offer option, you will be allowed to require immediate payment. Not yet, but in the future. But anyway, you can't yet. Now, I've had people tell me that they listed their items and magically best offer appeared even though they did not check it off. So oddly enough, this happened to me. It's never happened to me before, never, but it did. And I'll tell you when it happened. A couple of days before I went to eBay Open, I had a Ford alloy wheel center cap listed for, I believe it was $40. And I received a best offer from this particular buyer of $35, which I thought was weird. I said, how does somebody send me a best offer when I don't have best offer on it? I don't know how it happened. Now, it was 2 days before eBay Open. I was feeling magnanimous. $35 I felt was an acceptable price. But I was concerned. I said, suppose he doesn't pay. So I accepted the offer, sent him an invoice. He doesn't pay. Now, 2 days later, I leave for eBay Open and I forgot all about the incident. So I never opened up an unpaid item case. I came back from eBay Open and another week went by and I had forgotten all about this until I was in my seller hub and I saw it said items able for unpaid item case 1. And then it dawned on me. I said, I forgot all about this guy. So I opened an unpaid item case, and I think you have to wait 4 days if I'm correct. 4 days came and went. He never paid. He never responded to the unpaid item case. So I closed out the case, got my fees refunded, relisted the item without best offer, and it's listed right now. The point that I want to make is the screenshot that I saved. I don't think I'm going to have time to put it up tonight, but I actually went to the trouble of saving this screenshot. I had planned to show it to you. I might do it. I don't know. The point is, it's the exact same type of screenshot that I saw in 1999. John Smith has not paid for the item and has received an unpaid item strike on his account. In 20 years, nothing has changed. I don't know, man. I don't know. As I said earlier, my sales have been very, very strong the last few weeks. I attribute that to, number one, I got a lot of fresh inventory in, like I told you, and I've been listing quite a bit. The only days I haven't been listing are the days I've been physically going to the hoarder's place and buying stuff. I've been reading comments on the Facebook groups. Some people are doing really good, but some people are doing really bad. I posted a screenshot in one of the Facebook groups the other day that shows my selling right now. I am 69% higher than I was at this time last year. And I think I'm about 30% higher than this time last month. Now, it hasn't always been that way for me. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying right now I'm riding the wave and things are excellent. No complaints whatsoever. eBay for the win! Unless you're not allowed to sell on eBay. Sorry. Calm down. All right, guys. That being said, I'm going to bring this video to a close. Please comment on anything you wish to eBay related, whether it be your sales, whether they're up or down, whether it be the fact that you're having a problem with the post office scanning your packages when they're really not arriving, whether it has to be with hoarders, or if you've encountered any fishy buyers or sellers lately. I want to know about that. like the one I read to you in the very first comment, where the fishy seller is lying about his location, saying he's in California, but he's in Vietnam. I think eBay should really crack down on that. What do you think? I'd like to know. You know something? I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thank you for watching this video. Each week I make these videos to try and help you be successful on eBay. If you think I'm doing a good job, please leave me a thumbs up. It tells me I'm appreciated and on the right track. If you don't think I did a good job, please tell me in the comments section what you want me to hit up, and I'll be glad to do it next week. Remember, I'm a seller friend, not a seller critic or skeptic of any kind. I've solved a lot of problems. I'm still making money online. I've never worn a mask. Some say I could be a CEO or a CFO of my own company. So yeah, go out there, make a lot of eBay sales, rock on, and peace! And please, if you've been watching my channel for a long time, and most of you guys probably have, I implore you, don't be fishy! I disown fishy people. Yeah! Bye!